the Legit Crypto Lounge, everyone, the place to be to discover all the latest and upcoming legit projects. We really appreciate you joining us for today's AMA, and we hope to bring you some valuable insights during the next hour or so. Today, we're joined by Paul from BankersDream, a token that has already launched. I know a few of our community members have already invested in this project. But for those that haven't yet invested, it'd be great to go back to the beginning and start by finding out a little bit about the team behind the token. So, Paul, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and telling us a bit about you, your background, and the team behind BankersDream.
Of course. First of all, thank you for having us. So for me, I'm Paul, also going by the name of Buka in our community. I am actually a trained banker from Germany. Also with our founders team, we are 4 people originated in Germany. We have 2 trained bankers working as financial advisors. We have 1 insurance agent, and we have a software developer. So it's a pretty unique combination in the crypto space. And with our token, we want to tackle the whole passive income thing. Get our hands on in the DeFi space and just working things out there.
Do you guys have a background in crypto? Like, have you launched anything before?
No, actually not. This is the first project. We do not have any additional projects or something like this planned. So we are what people would consider a first-time project. We are backed by different very experienced people. We do have some background in trading in the crypto space. Of course, been watching it with our background in finance. Of course, it's very refreshing to see something happening in the crypto space, like the things we've seen in the past few years, especially in the DeFi place. It opens a lot of different opportunities. But actually, we are partnering with different experienced agencies, as for example, our marketing agency, Legacy Capital. Very experienced people working with us there on this project.
Yeah, great. So you guys are all bankers, and then in terms of the other aspects of launching and growing a token and stuff, you're partnering and outsourcing that then?
Yeah, we are mainly a team, a very financial specialized team. We do know our ways in the financial world. We do know how to handle different things in the financial world. Of course, it helps a lot to be backed by, for example, the marketing agency. Definitely helps a lot, and we can see the results of it in our chart. We can probably take a look at the chart later.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've already had a quick look at it. It's looking really strong at a time when a lot of tokens are really failing. Your chart is looking really nice and healthy. So we'll definitely come on to that in a minute. In terms of the token itself, do you want to take us through that, how it works, what sets you apart?
I have like a little fundamental presentation. It's like around 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We can quickly go over it.
Yeah, perfect.
It helps a lot with the actual understanding of our goals, the token itself, and the things we want to tackle in the DeFi space with it. So I would just start to share my screen.
Yeah, let me just stop sharing when yours is up.
Okay, I wanted to screen share and I got kicked out of Telegram.
Oh no.
But I'm back. I think I can just start to screen share now. Give me.
Right. Technical difficulties.
Somehow it doesn't allow me to screen share.
Let me see. if I can give you a quick admin role to see if that will help it.
We're going to share this on our YouTube channel and also on Spotify. So obviously, if anybody listening on Spotify, we'll try and talk you through all of the screen shares as well, so you understand what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. We'll try to make it understandable.
Are you sorting out admin roles?
Yeah, it should have roles now, Paul.
All right, I'll try out. Give me a second. All right, somehow it doesn't want me to screen share, but no problem at all. I think I could just maybe post in some screenshots of the actual presentation, and then we can just go over it really quick. I think this is the easiest way to handle these things right now.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll just bring up a quick overview over our taxes. So we do have 15% flat tax for buys and sells. Same tax there, no difference in buys and sells. And we are giving out 8% reflections in BUSD stable token. This is the first source of passive income. Just keep in mind, the BUSD reflections, of course, are dependent on our trade volume. So the more trade volume we are generating overall, the more BUSD rewards will be distributed to the holders. We have 4% used for marketing / our fund. We will talk about our fund later on because it's basically our main utility. We have 2% used for buyback and burns and 1% automatically added into liquidity, which is especially for us, since we started as after the pink sale pre-sale with around 80,000 market cap, pretty important to build up a healthy liquidity over the time. So this basically for our taxes, a quick overview. Now for our token itself, we do actually want to tackle the whole passive income theme, but in a different approach. Of course, the easiest way to create passive income is of course the whole reward system. So a reward token is nothing new, nothing special about a reward token out in the crypto space. But it is the first income stream. It's always dependent on the trade volume. So we, together with our early community, did think of different ways. How can we create additional sources of passive income, specifically for our holders, which are independent of our actual trade volume and independent of our token. So what we came up with was the actual fund. We are already actively investing in the fund since 2 weeks now, growing it, dollar cost averaging into different investments there. And the strategy for the fund is pretty straightforward. Just posting in another image. So we do have a tax allocated in the marketing wallet. 1.5% of this tax is used for our fund investments. So for the fund investments, also a pretty straightforward way, we as a team, we do vet the different projects. What does vetting mean? We are taking a deeper look into the projects, specifically for the long-term potential. And we are additionally taking a look at the team, because we do not want to actively trade in the fund. We are looking for long-term investments with some potential, specifically in the future. Once the projects are vetted and we consider them safe, of course, we cannot make it sure 100% that our investments are always safe. Yeah, this is not possible. But once we consider them as safe, we will set up polls. We do actually right now work on a voting system. It's like kind of a mini DAO, so only banks holders can vote in our dashboard, and only banks holders are able to actually vote. Of course, same logic applied again as for the BUSD rewards. The more banks you're holding, the more voting power you will have for the different polls going on. So in the end, the community will decide which addition is made to our community fund. And yeah, mainly existing from considered safe projects, yeah, specifically from the team side of the projects and the long-term potential. The yield generated will be distributed in the future. I can talk about this in a second. Pretty important part is also, of course, the planned distribution of the assets in the fund. So this is what we came up with early on. It is a bit hard if you cannot see it, if you're listening to it on Spotify. I'll give it a shot to explain it. So our fund will be investing early on. So right now, 10% overall in ICOs. 10%, of course, they have the most upward potential in the short term, but also they have the most risk involved. Just due to the nature that they are ICOs. 20% are used for staking in the fund. 30% are used for investments in other reward tokens. And 40% right here are displayed as cash. So cash is just a financial term for a reserve in the fund. Because we are dollar cost averaging our investments in. Yeah, we are not chucking in a big amount of money into the investment. We are taking a very traditional approach here because we are aiming for long-term investments, and dollar cost averaging into them helps a lot, especially in floor finding for the other projects. So if they had a pump, of course, at some point there will be a correction. We can help there with our dollar cost averaging with the whole floor finding process and try to further strengthen our investments. Because of course, we are not competing with our investments. We want them to grow. We want the overall DeFi space to grow because if our investments are healthy, yeah, basically our community will receive a good amount of yield of our investments. So this will change, this early distribution. We are looking into a lot of different things, as for example, yield farming. We are looking into like property in the metaverse to rent out or to use as ad space. These are all different sources we want to include in the future. Just the early distribution. Yeah, we want to keep things simple, especially in the start of our token, because there's a lot going on early on in a project. So this was the best way we figured out. So what is the interesting part for a holder of our token with this fund? Of course, it is the distribution itself. So this fund is generating yield, yeah, rewards from other reward tokens, yield from staking, yield from different sources overall in the future. And this yield in the future will be distributed with 75% to our holders, and 25% of the yield generated will be used for either charity or marketing. Marketing does also include compounding into our fund itself, so we can constantly grow the fund itself. So this is a incentive we want to create for our holders to actually hold the token. Yeah, because with this fund, we will make the whole passive income thing independent of our token itself. Yeah, it doesn't matter if our token is going on a total roller coaster ride or if our token is basically having zero volume, because we will still be able to distribute yield out of this community fund. So this is the main goal behind our token, the main utility we are working on, constantly growing it. Started investing like 1.5 weeks ago. And yeah, Of course, there will be more additions to our ecosystem. A lot of things planned, a lot of things we are starting to develop also in the near future. But of course, right now, we are 7 weeks old. First edition, of course, for passive income is the token itself with a reward system. And the next edition is our main utility, which we want to grow every week. Yeah, we are dollar cost averaging right now every day because basically the market was dipping and it is the time to invest money into different projects. So yeah, of course, we want to take our approach in this one. So this a quick overview of the goals we are having. The utility, it is a unique utility. We are aware there are a lot of tokens creating funds out there, but we have a different approach, a very holder focused approach with this fund, with this whole token. And we are actually working a lot with the community itself. So I think our existing members, which are already with us a few weeks or a few days, they can vouch for this one. We are very, very active, very transparent. There's just one thing we basically cannot be transparent right now. Just to take it away, this question for later on, the whole doxing thing. We do not have a problem with doxing. Yeah, we did dox, of course, for example, to Legacy Capital because they wouldn't partner up with us if we didn't dox with them. We did make our KYC, but we cannot dox at the moment due to our jobs in finance in Germany. It could lead to problems to publicly dox once we are able to maintain this as a main job. Of course, we do need to feed our families. We do need to pay rent and everything. As soon as we are able to maintain this project, of course, we will dedicate full time and then also full docs. Yeah, no problem with this one. Just basically at the moment not possible for us.
So just looking at that, is that the main ambition then, to grow this to a point where you guys can go full time?
Yeah, the main ambition is, of course, to drive this full time. Yeah, because we are dedicating a lot of resources, a lot of our time into the project. We do want to see this succeed, especially now. This is a very, very critical stage right now. We had a good pump up. If you take a look later in at the chart itself.
I can
Yeah, do you want to load that up, Toby?
Yeah, because I can't screen share the chart. This is the problem right now.
That's fine, yeah, we'll get it loaded up for you. Just on the token and the platform itself and stuff, obviously, there's so many reflection tokens out there at the moment that are all just destroying each other. And it's not enough to just have reflections. We all know it's volume focused, and without volume, they die. So it's, I do really like the further utility that you're bringing on board, and obviously with your experience, that could really set it apart. You know, in terms of the choices, what makes you choose a list of coins or tokens to invest in? Have you got specific parameters that make that choice?
Yeah, we can give a little bit of insight in our overall vetting process, of course. We also got asked the question a lot if we are investing, for example, in meme coins or something like this.
Yeah.
This is like something we are not investing in. Yeah, not because we do not like meme coins. I actually love meme coins personally, but we want to have sustainable projects, yeah, because we are looking into long-term investments. So of course we are checking out the projects, especially for upcoming utilities. Is there something great incoming with the project itself? So for example, our latest addition to our fund was an ICO, which is called Moon. We did choose this one because we know the team is 100% safe. Our marketing agency is also heavily involved with Moon, and it's the same marketing agency working with us, which was also involved, for example, with Moonrock. If this says something, it's also a very early project, also in the DeFi space. And Moon, for example, had the staking utility ready from the start and is launching their own swap. We saw sneak peeks. It is a very, very nice looking DEX. Yeah, a very nice looking DEX with some additions which are basically missing in other DEXs. So these are the things we are looking for. Of course, these are still very, very risky investments. Yeah, because you never know if this project can succeed, cannot succeed. But this is the main thing we are basically looking for, a good utility in the work and a team which can also additionally deliver this utility. These combinations most of the time make a project succeed because, as you said before, there are a lot of different reward tokens, but you cannot sustain a reward token in the long run. Yeah, it will always die off if you are not adding a good utility to it, because it will always be dependent of the trade volume, and it will always be dependent of the token itself. So this is also why we chose to put up the whole community fund, because with our experience in crypto and in finance overall, and of course with the connections we made so far, we can possibly get our hands on very early on very promising projects additionally, which of course helps out a lot in the early stages of a fund.
Yeah, for sure. And in terms of your community front, how much have you built up? Obviously, it's at early days, isn't it? A week and a half, but are you able to share how much you built up in that front?
I can actually show, because we have this in our dashboard as well on our website. I can just show a little picture right here, what we've done so far. Of course, the overall market was also dragging our investments down since 1.5 weeks. But we are still dollar cost averaging in. As we said before, we won't take a huge amount of money and just chuck it into an investment. Right here, for example, you are not able to see the staked tokens we have. For example, Moon, we have a very, very big wallet size. Let's keep it that way in Moon, because it's, of course, the main goal of the fund is to obtain decent wallet sizes, pretty big wallet sizes to actually have some traction in the fund itself. Of course, in ICOs, it's a lot easier because we have been able to get private sale rates, we have been able to get pre-sale rates, and we have been pretty much able, especially for Moon, to actually catch the dips after the launch perfectly. Yeah, so we did catch the dips perfectly, which did also lead to a very good investment so far. So I think with, how much was it? Around 8 million tokens in total staked, which is a very big wallet in Moon itself for the holders. And we are already seeing a very good return. Of course, in the investment itself, we are sitting on a very good profit right now. And also for the staking rewards, for example, we can see a good return so far.
Could I just ask a quick question on Moon? If that's all right.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with it. So, is that a reflection token?
No, they do not have any reflections. This is with a staking utility ready, and this is more a utility-driven token. Yeah, so they have the staking ready, and they will additionally launch their DEX in February. As I said before, the sneak peeks are actually looking amazing. So this is more for the section of the investment fund for the whole staking process. Yeah, which we involved Moon for.
It kind of leads me on to my next question, is like, if you've got connections there, do you feel like you will never be in a position to be able to sell comfortably if needs be, or do you think you're comfortable doing that if it came to it?
Yes, of course. There is no problem in selling, because the same applies for our investment itself. So we are dollar cost averaging in, and let's say, for example, Moon is having a pretty big run. Of course, it is always a good idea to secure some profit, to get some profit out, to secure it. But we want our investments to stay healthy. We would never sell off the whole bag at one cell or in 3 or 4 cells in a row. Yeah, we want this project to stay healthy. Of course, it doesn't matter which project, if it's Moon through our connections, or if it's another project.
I think you have a responsibility, don't you, to be able to sell responsibly, at least as the kind of
You need to keep the chart healthy. Yeah, this is very important, because I think a lot of people have seen this already. With a single wallet can actually cause a lot of panic in a token. So you have, if you take your profits, especially if you are something like a fund investing in different things. Yeah, if you want to take profit, do it responsibly. Of course, we are always also reaching out to the project if they want to, for example, buy back the tokens themselves. Yeah, this is always an option you could make if you have the connections there, to not impact the chart too big. But as we said before, this is something we normally wouldn't do. But of course, especially in ICO investments, at some point, if it has a big run, you need to secure some profits there. Yeah, because you never know in which direction this goes. But we are doing it responsibly. Yeah, same as we dollar cost average in, we would rather dollar cost average out in cells which are not impacting the chart a lot. Yeah, just to keep the project healthy as well.
Thank you.
And just on the distribution of the community fund, I think you mentioned that that's not been decided when you're going to start doing that. Is that right?
Yes, because we had a number in our mind from our calculations. We should be able to start the distributions at a fund size of around 150,000 in total. But we already had a lot of people reaching out to us from our community that we should make this a community vote, because some people want to rather have the fund compounding even more to, let's say, a size of 500,000, and wait on the distribution. Just use the yield to compound it even faster to a very big size. Of course, we will leave this to the community. Yeah, we had this number of 150,000 because at some point it is good to distribute the first yield, just to give the confidence that this is a working utility. But yeah, of course, community will decide this one.
And calculating that, so for example, I'm not invested. I know a couple of people were invested right from pre-sale. In terms of distribution, is that based on, is that an automatic calculation from when you bought into the token? Like, do you miss the first, distribution if you didn't invest in this section, if you know what I mean?
The distribution will apply the same logic as the BUSD rewards. Of course, there will be a certain time frame you have to hold the token. It will be most likely like around 1 or 2 weeks. And the way we want to avoid, for example, the whole swing trading just for the distribution is that we are not actively announcing the distribution itself. Yeah, there will be no schedule for the distribution. If we have it ready, we will send it out at different times. But of course, with a certain time lock behind it, so you have to actually hold our token for at least 1 week or 2 weeks to actually also receive the distribution itself.
Yeah, that's better, because it seems otherwise people are just going to jump in just before, aren't they?
Definitely. But this was also a thing because the way for example, our contract works for the BUSD reflections, it has a certain threshold. So it collects our tax in our token until a certain threshold. This threshold was pretty big early on because we started as a very, very low cap pre-sale. The threshold was at 6 trillion. Of course, with the market cap rising, 6 trillion tokens in a contract sell is way too big. Yeah, this did lead to an issue in which people did intentionally sell right before the contract sell. Then the contract sold off and they will buy in right after this dip created by the contract. So of course, this is what we want to avoid, the whole swing trading. We are avoiding this right now in our token with a way lower contract sell. Yeah, the actual contract sell right now is like 4 BNB, and you cannot swing trade this contract sell. Yeah, and you see it. The people are not trying it anymore.
Yeah. So looking at the chart then and stuff, what date did you launch?
18th of December, our launch was from the Pink Cell pre-sale.
Good memory.
Yeah. Looks like it flatlined for a bit and then it's gone pretty mental. So what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, we did actually right after the actual launch hype. Yeah, there is always a certain launch hype. We did hit a all-time high of around 450,000 ish right after launch, and then we consolidated. We had a pretty long sideways movement around 20 days. In this time frame, we did have, of course, Christmas in between and all that stuff. But we did work on exposure a lot. Yeah, we did have Poocoin ads running. We did have CoinMooner ads running. We had all these different things mixed into the whole exposure game because we wanted to have a organic growth in the community. I have to say, if you take a look at the chart, at the sideways movement, the first initial pump we had was around 200-250% big. This was basically a lot of exposure. We created a lot of people watching us with a community going mental, like literally mental on Reddit, on Twitter. They are doing this through they're very, very dedicated to this, our community, which is basically amazing because it's also a very strong asset for a project to have a healthy community. If we take, let me just open the chart so I can talk you through it. We had this first initial pump going there, this first pump up in which we did break the initial all-time high and then a sideways movement right after the pump, which is normal, just some people taking profits and then the floor finding process. And then another pretty big pump started. This was actually around the time when the market was crashing. So we did outperform the overall market, which of course created additional exposure. But I can say it was a lot of exposure beforehand with a community going very, very crazy in this whole Reddit thing and everything. Yeah, with the community itself is hitting trending in different subreddits, trending spot one, and holds this for a very long time without us even, because normally you would have to pay people, to get you on trending in Reddit. No page ending here yesterday. It's basically the community doing this, and in this pump of the chart, like the last very, very big pump we had. Around the half of this pump, actually, Coingecko did hit with the listing. So most of this was achieved without anything particular big. Yeah, there was no Coingecko or CMC listing which caused all of this. This was basically the community going mental, in addition with a lot of exposure doing on the side, which is also the same strategy we are still running. We had, of course, some influencer call-outs last weekend, some nice Twitter call-outs. Right now we are looking into different YouTube influencers, starting with smaller ones, just to create this constant exposure. And the community is going for Reddit and Twitter rates every single day, which is a huge asset, for a project. This community just going crazy without us even actively asking for it. They are organizing themselves, and they are going mental with it.
Yeah, having a good, strong community behind you is massive, isn't it? It's way more important than having a load of money to chuck at some influencers or core groups and stuff that are just going to create that pump and dump.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, because a lot of people are getting like running a project very, very wrong. They always ask for when marketing or something like this. Yeah, but there is no switch which you can just trigger and you will have the token pumping a lot. Yeah, there is no switch for this one. It's always a combination of right timing in the market itself, paired with exposure, and of course the community, which makes the token in the end pumping. So far we have been very successful with it, also with the chart itself. Of course we have people taking some profits. Just you have to think it was from the start of the initial pump, it was basically a 40x until the all-time high. Yeah, of course you will have people taking profits there, which is totally fine. But we did not have this very, very big dump some projects are seeing right after for example, Coingecko and CoinMarketCap listing, right back to the pre-sale level itself. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Where are we at now with market cap? I can't see the screen properly. It's 2 mil.
Yeah, just over 2 mil.
Yeah, sitting around 2 mil right now. We had a wallet, just taking profits, but let's keep it. It was taking responsibly. He did not dump at once in one big sell, so it is totally fine for the people to take profits. But of course, we had some tries in the chart, as you can see, to actually break the resistance. But it's okay if people use this sideways movement, use this pump up and just secure some profits. Yeah, this will create a healthy distribution of the tokens overall throughout our holders in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Can we just touch on the initial funds that you raised? What did you have? A private pre-sale?
Oh, the initial rate. So for the private sale, we had it was a very, very small private sale, I have to say. It was 12 BNB raised.
Okay.
We didn't need more for the marketing, honestly. And we had a rate of 1 BNB was receiving 5 trillion tokens. Yeah, which seems a lot, but just keep in mind we have been a very, very low cap start.
Yeah.
And the pre-sale rate, don't let me lie, there was 1 BNB for around 2.2 trillion tokens, something like this, and a 70 BNB hard cap overall. So very, very low cap pre-sale, because basically we wanted to build things from scratch organically, which we've achieved so far.
Yeah, for sure. I take it none of them were vested or anything like that.
Yeah, it was a very good run, especially. Of course, this is always also something very important to notice. We had in this whole sideways movement we had after launch, we did shake out a lot of very impatient people with some bigger wallets, of course. They did sell off because, basically things haven't been moving there, which is good for the future of our token.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I can't see those wallets properly.
So I can run through them, mate. Yeah. So just talk me through your top wallets here, buddy. So we've got this one. I'm guessing one of these is probably your investment in BankersDream yourself, maybe.
Could you just screen share? Yes, now I see it. Let me see. There we have. Yes, this is the team vesting. This one with the, I think 25 trillion left for the team vesting, which is still vested. We have one marketing reserve, which was locked until basically today. This marketing reserve is for our agency, but of course they do not intend to dump or anything like that, so nothing to worry there. And then yes.
Sorry, how do you plan to utilize those marketing tokens then?
This is mostly for the marketing agency, for our agency which partnered with us. We did partner with them. They are right now, for example, because we wanted a press release in 600 sources, including Yahoo and Bloomberg. And for us, it wasn't possible to get this press release because we haven't been listed on CMC at the time we applied for the press release, and we didn't have a registered company for the token. So they basically said, if we do not have these things, they won't do this for us. Through our partnership, the press release will happen from Legacy Capital, which is a registered company. They will make the press release announcing a partnership with us and basically talking about our token. Yeah, so basically a press release for us. But these are the things they are helping us a lot with.
Do you know when that'll happen?
What do you mean?
The press release, or the press release. Do you know when that's starting?
I haven't got an exact date. We did have the article submitted for a professional writer yesterday, so it should be finished now anytime soon. And once we are okay with the sneak peek we are getting, they will start to roll things out for the press release.
Just a couple of questions from that.
Yes,
I've seen it utilized before with a token that we're probably all familiar with, and that it works well. Who's the marketing company?
Legacy Capital. I can drop the Twitter account actually from them. They are a full doxed marketing company. So as I said before, we also needed to dox to actually have them work with us. They are not taking any project just for marketing. They are also looking for strong potential in the team and the project itself.
Nice. And the other one we'll just go back and touch on team vesting. What's the schedule on that?
We had a 20 days lock right after pre-sale, and then we had a vesting period of 5 days, 10% releasing with each 5-day cycle. So right now we are having, don't let me lie, 5 more team vestings to open over the course of the next 25 days. We did choose a rather short team vesting period because we do want to actually pay ourselves the same way a holder gets paid. So basically through rewards and later on the distribution of the fund.
Yeah.
Of course, there will be some additional payments of the marketing wallet. Yeah, this is nothing to lie about, but because we are looking to actually quit our jobs, and we cannot do it if we do not have a income source. Yeah, just to keep it that way.
Oh, I think we lost you there. Oh, there we go.
I'm back here.
Okay, right. so this just go back to this marketing company, Legacy Capital. Yes. Have you paid them, or are you paying them, or how are you planning to pay them?
No, they are actually receiving the a big chunk of the marketing reserve for the future. They are we are not actually paying them. They are granting us the connections, for example, to different influencers, to YouTube, also to some other things, as for example CMC or Coingecko, all these things, and we are getting them at very, very good rates. I have to say, this is the whole, basically helping us a lot with all the background work for marketing, handling influencers and all that stuff, planning marketing out, mapping marketing out. This is what we are doing.
And what did they get from that then?
They are receiving our tokens.
Right. Okay. So this 25
yes,
trillion.
Exactly.
So obviously is this locked at the minute? They're not receiving rewards on this?
No rewards on this. They said they are also willing to log it furthermore, like parts of it, just to give the people a good feeling. because they are not intending to dump in any way. This is not the intention here.
Do you have any formal agreement with them about that?
No. Of course,
this is
a very trustful relationship, because of course you do also need to consider they are heavily involved actively in the team, for example, of Moon. We are holding a very, very big wallet in Moon as well. So it's a very formal agreement right there. We are not under a active, because they have an umbrella company in which they can take a project in and make it a registered company. But we are not having such a agreement with them, because we want to have our own company.
I mean, I think by my maths, it's about, I don't know, 140 BNB worth a token at the minute, isn't it?
Roughly, yes, roughly. It's a pretty big chunk, but it's totally fine, because you have to think the connections we are receiving through this one are enormous. They are having connections basically everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. And of course, we are getting other rates especially for influencers, for example. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, Mark, carry on, buddy.
Yeah. you mentioned about the initial press release and you not being able to do that yourselves, partly because you weren't registered. So,
yes.
Do you plan? Obviously, you plan to go into this full time. Are you going to register a company for this?
Exactly. This is what we are working on right at the moment. It takes some time because there are different possibilities we are checking out, because we had the initial idea to have this company based in Germany, which is causing some trouble just for legal regulations. Yeah. So right now, again, through this agency we're working with, they have a contact to register us as a company, to make everything official from this side. But this also takes, a few weeks, minimum, to have everything done from this side.
Okay, fair enough. So in terms of your plans going forward and stuff, obviously it seems like the next big thing is this press release. For somebody like myself who hasn't invested yet and is looking to potentially invest, what would make me jump in at this point?
So something that will happen in the future besides the press release?
Yeah. I'm just looking at your chart and stuff. It's obviously it spiked massively. It's coming down a bit now. I'm just wondering whether people are going to look to let it climb down further, or whether people should be jumping on board now, ahead of this press release.
Exactly. So for the things which are still open, we listed on CoinGecko. We have the full listing there. But for CMC, for example, they did list us as a untracked listing now, which means we are not having our price on CoinMarketCap actually tracked, which is also something we are working on right now, which we will hopefully solve to change it to a tracked listing this week. So this is something which also opens a lot of different possibilities. Yeah, you can look into CMC trending and all that stuff, which creates additional exposure. But of course, this is something we are still working on. Get the tracked listing done. There shouldn't be any reason to not track us at all. Our numbers are totally fine. We are listed on CoinGecko, so it's just a matter of time. And honestly, it's sometimes a little bit hard working with CoinMarketCap regarding this whole tracking thing right now. So this is something which will come in the future, opens up also a lot of different opportunities. We do have some YouTube influencers planned. We are starting with smaller ones, and we are additionally covering with the YouTube influencers the TikTok space and also the Instagram space. Yeah, so we are working on exposure from this side, because I think we had 1 or 2 smaller YouTubers actually making a video about us, like a little review, nothing we have paid for already, but this is something we are starting up right now also additionally. And also keep in mind with this fund, so yes, it was yesterday, with a dollar cost average around 11 BNB in there. Today we will dollar cost average another amount in there. This is something which makes our holders very, very confident they are in actually holding the token. Of course, after such a big pump, there will be always some people taking the profits out, which is totally fine. But you see in our growth numbers, so we are releasing every Friday our raw growth numbers for the past week. So we did in the last Friday, we did release them. We did double down on holders. We did, I think it was triple our Reddit. We had a lot of growth overall in the overall social media. Twitter was sitting on around 500 people, also doubling down. So give me a second. I got pinged there in the chat from Dale. Yes, there are the actual growth numbers you can see in the chat, which is something we are releasing. And yeah, still working on this one. We're still having healthy progression on this one. This is something the people shouldn't underestimate, because we are having daily AMAs, trying to build a bond with our community and our investors. And we have a lot of people investing like smaller amounts, and then of course watching, especially in this market situation right now. They are watching us, they're watching the chart, watching us work. And yeah, this is something which we want to achieve, this whole organic growth thing. Yeah. And we are creating a lot of attention out there. This is definitely what we are aware of.
Yeah, and I think this isn't something that other tokens and stuff can easily replicate. Obviously, they can replicate your model, but they don't have you guys. They don't have the experience behind it to choose the right projects to help with those, dividend payments and stuff. When you first created this project, did you have an idea in mind of where your target was, like what your end point is, where you'd be happy? Was there a market cap point at which you wanted to get to call yourself a successful project?
Okay, very good question there. Very good question. Because of course we do have some goals. We want to, our main goal is to create this sustainable source of passive income, because this is something we could watch recently with the whole reward token thing coming up in the DeFi space, that a sole reward token is not sustainable by itself. Yeah. With the tax and the rewards being dependent on the trade volume, it's very hard to sustain a reward token. This is something we wanted to battle as our main goal. This is still our main goal. Of course, we are setting milestones. This is what we want to achieve. So our first milestone obviously was after the pre-sale to hit this 1 million market cap mark. Yeah, we have been able to hit this. We can check this goal. The next goal, of course, is the 10 million market cap. This is something we are, definitely tackling on right now. But for a endpoint, it's very hard to say, because crypto is, I would say, unpredictable in some parts, especially in this part. And I think the best thing we could do there as a team and as a community is just to keep on grinding, to deliver every single day, to stay transparent and everything. And I think the success will come over time. And a end goal, we do not have an actual end goal, because we want to sustain this long term. There is no exit point for us, if you know what I mean there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What was I going to say? Just looking at long term stuff, with the way your taxes are structured at the minute, 15% buy and sell.
Yes.
Are you looking further down the line to reduce those? I'm just thinking, will the reflection part of it become less important because your other main utility is taking over and is being really successful? In order to get into the bigger listings.
This is something, definitely we did already take a look at it. Of course, this is always a thing you need to find the right balance, because a lot of people of our community right now are actually enjoying this 8% BUSD rewards recently a lot. Yeah, because it's just great to have, currently we are having the threshold for the sell at around 400 billion tokens, which is around a 5 BNB sell. And if you're holding a decent bag, yeah, this creates a good source of income throughout the day. I can tell it so far. Of course, especially if you are looking, for example, into listings on exchanges or something like this, they are right now not supporting something like reflections in BUSD. So this is something we have to tackle anyways in the future. But a tax reduction will most likely definitely come from, for example, the marketing wallet. Right now, there are 2.5% allocated in the marketing wallet. But of course, with increasing volume, we do not need such a big tax in the marketing wallet. Yeah, you will be most likely be able to reduce it further down to reduce the overall tax. Yeah. But for something like the BUSD reflections, this would be something which we do not want to decide. We will always have the community voting for this one, just to keep it on this community-driven side. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yep, all sounds good. Looks good to me. It's, I wish it was brought to our attention right at the start of launch, and I'm obviously regretting not getting on board a lot earlier on now. But yeah, it's all looking good. I think probably a good point now to open up to any questions from the community. I don't know, Toby, have you seen any questions going in the chat?
I think there's somebody else wanted to ask a question. I've just got one more question before we hand over.
Of course.
It's probably going to be a little bit early to tell, considering you've only started a week and a half ago. But how's the performance so far on your investments?
It is looking decent, of course, with the overall market crashing. It was dragging down, especially our EarnHub and Evergrow investment. But we did use this time, of course, to just further DCA even more into it, just to get this nice entry points. For our Moon investment, it is looking, just let me take a look really quick, because in the future, we will display the performance of the fund also in our dashboard. But right now, we haven't had this ready in the implementation. Just let me take
I think it'd be worthwhile you guys sticking around here as well, because you might come across some good stuff.
Give me a second. Yeah, definitely. This is something I like about an AMA channel, to have this, you guys reaching out to what you think are potentially good projects. Yeah, that's why I'm definitely sticking around here, and maybe you will see me hopping around in some AMAs of other projects as well.
That'd be nice to see. Yeah, it's all about building up connections, I think, in this space, and we're just trying to keep this organic and legit as possible. So hopefully, you might find it useful.
Definitely, it's the best way, because we are always a little bit, so from our team side, of course, we are using a lot of different influencers as well, but we would rather have an AMA, let's say, for example, with you guys here, yeah, than a AMA with a, yeah, let's say, half-botted Telegram channel in which we can say which is actually real and what is not real in there. Yeah. So yeah, very good approach of you guys there, I have to say.
How up to now, how did you source the brand new tokens? And, how did you come across them in the first place?
This Moon token, for example, or what do you mean?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at Evergrow, to be honest.
Now I didn't get the question. Evergrow coin, how did we get into this one, you mean?
Yeah, just wondering how you sourced it, how you found it in the first place.
For Evergrow coin, we have been aware of Evergrow coin since shortly after launch, but of course we didn't have the project running there. The thing why we invested into Evergrow coin was basically the utilities they are adding into their ecosystem. They are looking great, and actually I think the Evergrow coin team is doing a very, very good job overall. So we think potentially in the long run, a big player, an even bigger player in the future, especially in the DeFi space.
Yeah, do you know what? To be honest, I was getting mistaken. There's so many others at the minute. I was thinking one of this was referring to one of the brand new ones. So looking at Moon then, how did you find out about that in the first place?
We had actually since the marketing agency we are working with is also right now starting to be heavily involved into Moon. They did reach out to us if this would be a possible investment. Of course, from the team side, we consider it very safe. Yeah, we are potentially looking into a partnership with Moon directly, so with the token itself. But we will still see how things come out there. Basically, it was the same for Moonrock. Yeah. The marketing agency being involved in a lot of early projects opens up a lot of opportunities, especially if they are aware that you could be a potentially very big holder which isn't looking to dump at any point.
Sure.
Yeah, this makes yourself very valuable for a early project. And additionally, we think this is also a goal we have with our fund to create awareness about the fund itself. Of course, this is a process which needs time, but at some point, projects can reach out to us. Yeah, they can also ask for AMAs with our community. They can have them in our community, show their project, and the community can also additionally decide if we vet them in a positive way. They can also decide if we want to invest into them. Yeah, this could be also a quick start, especially for projects looking for a very early, very early money, for example, for marketing or something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. It'd be a great opportunity for them to get a solid floor, wouldn't it, if they know that you're holding by them from the start, early on.
Definitely. Could help a lot my project in the long run.
Right, you want to take some questions from the floor? Anyone got any? Somebody was asking if they could ask a question earlier.
Yes, that was me. Hello, Paul.
Hello, mate. How are you, man?
Every day the same time, huh?
Yeah, every day. We have the same procedure every day.
No, I have a question. I think, as you mentioned, one day you will quit your jobs. Maybe
Yes.
it's just my thinking, but did you set a goal for that so that the community will know, hey guys, let's say at 30 million we will start quitting our jobs, because then maybe if we go to 60 million, we're thinking about, hey guys, the goal was 30 million, now we are at 60, so what's going on, you know? I think for the community would be nice to know, hey, this goal, that's where we start looking. I mean, later you can still give us updates.
Definitely. We have a goal from our calculation, which should give us the possibility, at least for example, for me to quit my job and then to fully dedicate, which is around the 10 million mark. At this point, should be able to sustain it. And yeah, this is actually a number I can give out, around 10 million. So if I didn't quit my job and we are sitting at 12 million, you can DM me and tell me, hey, you need to quit now.
Well, I mean, as I also wrote many times in the chats, I have a lot of people came in. I still have a lot of people want to come in, especially I'm working in a trading company. So, but most of them are worried and say, hey, look, they're not doxed. And it's nice to them to explain why, but also to say them, hey, look, at 10 million market cap or 12, you can then jump in, because these are people which come with the big monies.
Definitely. We are totally aware of this. This whole doxing thing is potentially keeping some of investors away. Yes, a lot of potential away. That's why we are also looking into the doxing as quick as possible, which is also why around 10 million market cap, which is the next milestone we set. for us as a project. We should be able to at least one of us to fully docs, and then to give the people confidence from this side.
I mean, I also have 2 people joined it after the AMA because they were in listening. I think that helps also, and always showing what's going on. It calms the people down.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing, and we should keep that.
We will keep it. You can expect if I am able to quit my job, I have a goal of driving 3 AMAs a day. Right now we're having 1 AMA daily, which I can easily have with my job maintained in the site. But once I'm able, 3 AMAs daily, just to cover all the time zones, give everyone the possibility, and it helps a lot. Yeah, I love to communicate with the community, to get up the ideas of the community, and to further work on the project. Yeah, and the AMAs are helping tremendously. This daily AMAs we are driving.
Yeah. A question, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask that, but Mark from Legit Crypto Lounge, can I ask, are you like a close group, or is it like working with Patreon, or how are you? I mean, or do you have members like that in a group where you communicate with each other, or can I ask?
It's just an open group. We're just trying to grow organically. You're welcome to join. There's nothing. It's not closed or anything like that. We're just trying to build a community of people that look for legitimate projects and use each other's experiences to help, avoid the rugs and the honeypots, basically.
So is it possible to get the link in our group, Paul, or?
Definitely. We did already drop it on our pinned message.
Sorry, I was only listening and looking to your charts and presentation.
No problem. No, we can. I think it is okay because to upload the recording also on our YouTube from your side.
Yeah, we'll push you a copy over. We'll put it on YouTube as well, so you can decide how you want to do it and how you handle it.
Yeah, perfect. Because we will link your channel everywhere there also, and because it's a great way of creating a possible partnership also in the future. Yeah, connections is everything in the crypto space. So I could advise also you people because we have some of our community here. Just stick around in this channel. I like the approach. It is the approach we need a lot more in the crypto space for AMAs.
Appreciate that, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Does anyone have any more questions before we finish up? I guess we can wrap up there then.
Oh, just Mark.
Here a quick, so for the doxing, I am willing to dox. I just can't do it publicly. I did already do it privately. So if there are some people which are, holded back by the whole doxing thing, Mowgli, if this gives them more confidence, you can connect them with me. There's no problem about it. Just can't do it publicly at the moment.
Okay, thanks. Mark, can I ask you another question?
Sure.
So after this call, let's say you think about it, you talk with you guys, and you feel like, oh, that's something good. So what will be from your side the next steps?
In terms of investment from the community?
In terms of bankers.
Yeah, so obviously we're not allowed to provide financial advice or anything like that and stuff. It's the purpose of these AMAs are to ask the questions so that people can have a better understanding of the project, and then obviously it's their choice whether they or when they invest in the project and stuff. So I would never tell people to invest. Like I say, the purpose of this is to ask the question so people can make an informed decision.
With that said, we've got like a range of investors here, really, from small bag holders to people, if they find the right thing, they'll probably pump in quite a bit. So, but it's all, it's up to people to make their own personal decision based on the project. Normally we have a good discussion about it, like over the next day or two, and then, people just make up their own mind. People free to make up their mind, and that's where we are.
Yeah. No, I think it's also nice from our people in the AMA now that they understand how it will gonna work if they join to your group. So it's not more like bankers is like, it's more an advice, or is it information, and then people decide by themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's more information. Yeah. It's like we don't collectively, buy into projects. It's an individual decision.
Okay.
We kind of create the platform for people to, do their own research or do the due diligence on their kind of behalf. And, some people don't get a lot of time to do that. So, hopefully by doing this for an hour, we've seen some of the inside kind of workings of the project.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you. I've just sent you a DM, Mosley, by the way, just with a link to the legit crypto lounge. So feel free to join us.
Yes, perfect. Oh yeah, because I was searching for it. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a good partnership with you, Paul, in the future. If we see anything good, we can throw it your way, see what you think.
Definitely. We are looking for these things. Yeah, we need some insights on new projects launched.
I've got one in mind at the minute, actually, which I'll DM across to you afterwards, and you might want to take a look at it.
Definitely.
There's a couple of people in the chat, I think, that will want to have a chat with you about their projects as well. But is there anything else you'd like to add as like a final statement, Bob?
No, I think I've covered basically everything. The questions were basically pretty good. Some new questions we haven't had so far. Now, if you got interested while listening, just always feel free to do your own research. Join us. Ask any questions in the chat. DM us directly. It might take some time for us to answer because we get spammed a lot at the moment. But yeah, do your own research. You will see we are a very straightforward team and a little bit a unique approach in the crypto space.
Yeah, for sure. No, I like it. I do really like your project. And I definitely invest in people. So it's clear that you've got a lot of experience that can help this project.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
I've enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Thank you.